Hello, viewers. You are welcome to your show, my show, our show, the Digging Deep Show. Thank you ever so much for tuning into today's program. And I'm promising you that today you will be informed. And with me today, as you are aware, or you might not be aware, we've launched the 10-week heart campaign, bringing to you the awareness of heart diseases, cardiovascular diseases. All the questions that you had in your heart will be answered here today. And I've got a very phenomenal woman from the Heart Research UK. Barbara, you are welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being with us on the show today. Can you tell us what the Heart Research UK does to improve things across the UK?
Well, we've been around since 1967 and we are helping hearts, that's what we like to say. But we would like to help hearts near you, so it's great to be able to come here, for example, to come and talk to you about you and the people that you love and know, and we can help them. So we fund medical research primarily into the prevention, treatment and cure of heart disease. But what we've gone into since we were started 1967 more and more is lifestyle issues and trying to prevent it. It can happen to all ages, all genders, all ethnicities. And we have to look into what's the best thing for the best community, what's the best thing for the best age. So we do all sorts for all sorts of people.
Wow, well done to Heart Research UK. With all the things that you've been doing so far, you've started a long way. Is it getting any better when it comes to the killer disease? They say the UK's biggest killer. Is it getting any better?
It is getting, less people are dying from heart disease. That's the big thing. But it has been said that more people are actually presenting to doctors with it. So that indicates that it's something to do with the way we live our lives at the moment. So whilst people don't die of it, they are getting it still as much as they ever did, and in fact a bit more, I think.
So that means there's a cause of us getting awareness, getting the information across to the people. So can you tell us how Afro-Caribbeans, how they can fare when it comes to heart diseases?
It's not as bad as you think, Priscilla. In that Afro-Caribbeans are slightly higher risk of getting heart disease. There are other communities, such as the Southern Asians, that are at a far higher risk. But no, you are a higher risk than the general population by about 3-5%. About a third of the deaths in this country can be attributed to cardiovascular disease. So it is the biggest killer still.
A third. Are there any specific risk factors for this section of the community, like the Afro-Caribbeans? Anything specific?
Your biggest problems in trying to prevent heart disease, let's put it that way, is that it's the weight problem, especially waist measurement. In fact, Afro-Caribbean women have got one of the largest waist measurements, and that's got a direct correlation towards heart disease, diabetes. So that is a problem, is weight. So everybody calls it obesity, but I have to say, I'm going to be really honest, it's just you are overweight and you are big and so, let's not just try and give it a technical name as obese. Anybody who's overweight is at risk. Also, you have a tendency to high blood pressure as well. And if you think of your circulation, it's like a pump, which is the heart, and all the arteries and veins are like pipes. And you think about your central heating system, pressure in it is not good. So it's something that you have to try and do the best you can to keep as low as possible. But you have a natural tendency towards
Okay, so
higher
should
blood
we
pressure.
say that the weight issues are the main causes of concern?
It's not just weight, it's also lack of exercise. It's smoking to some extent. I have to say, this is where Afro-Caribbean women really score, because they've got one of the lowest incidents of smoking.
Yay.
So good on you.
Keep it up, hey?
Yeah, keep it up. But smoking, bad diet, lack of exercise, And I suppose to some extent, living a stressful life as well can, it's not a direct factor, but it can exacerbate what you have already.
Wow, this is really getting deep. Heart Awareness campaign sponsored by the Awards for All. And with me, if you're just joining us, is Barbara from the Heart Research UK. And Barbara, I want you to tell us what kind of lifestyle that Afro-Caribbeans can adopt in order to lessen the chances of heart diseases.
It's all the messages that you hear all the time. Have a good, healthy, balanced diet. And within that, especially pay attention to having low-fat foods, lots of fruit and vegetables, less salt, because that's another thing in this community that you put a lot of salt in stuff. And salt increases your blood pressure. So that's the direct consequence of that. So lower the salt, low fat. Now that doesn't mean that you've got to give up on butter altogether. If you want it, have a bit, but don't go over the top. Don't use lard. The best thing to use is rapeseed oil or something like that. Exercise is really key as well, because if you can imagine, your heart is just a muscle. It's a pump and a muscle. Now, if you want a big muscle, you have to work it lifting high weights. Your heart can't lift a weight. All you can do is make it beat faster and harder. So therefore, it makes it a stronger muscle. So the more that you can increase your heart rate, the better you are to have a stronger heart. And you should do about 30 minutes a day for an adult, an hour for a child.
Every day.
Every day. Now that's not, you don't have to go on a treadmill for 30 minutes, you know. You can hoover for 10 minutes. Don't take the lift, take the stairs. Instead of going all the way shopping on the bus, get off a stop early and walk the rest of it, but walk it briskly so that you can still talk, but you're slightly breathing quicker. That'll do a lot of good. Smoking. We paid for the research that found the link between smoking and heart disease, and there is a direct link. And it's because the stuff that lines your arteries and makes them fur up so that blood can't get through properly is made thicker and stickier because of smoking. So when you take a cigarette, you think it's making it thicker and stickier. So don't do it.
You heard it for yourself. Don't do it. Thou shalt not smoke. We heard it for ourselves. And tell us what projects the Heart Research UK are working on at the moment that might make a difference in the future.
There's loads of things that we're doing. There's the medical research that we do, and we probably spend, we can spend up to £1.6 million a year on medical grants, but they're really technical, and here probably too much to go into. But it's things like finding new heart attack tests. So when you have a heart attack, a good test that shows yes you've had one, and perhaps ones that are a bit more sensitive. New drugs for treatments of all sorts of heart disease, actual medical research into whether exercise is good for you, and believe me, it is. We've proven that over and over again. All sorts of things for all ages. But the other thing that we do a lot of is giving out healthy heart grants to community groups, and so they can choose for themselves how they get the message of keeping a healthy heart lifestyle to the people that they're near. So we give a lot of grants out of those, and we've given again about, in the last 10 years, nearly £2 million worth of those. The other thing I'm really excited about, though, is that going back to the exercise, when you if you had a heart attack tomorrow, and you won't because you live a good lifestyle,
God forbid.
you would be given a rehabilitation package when you left to say, look, this is how you should eat, this is exercise, no smoking.
So you're
alcohol,
providing all the help possible.
The hospital should give you that. If you were a child, you wouldn't get that. So it was something that I noticed, in actual fact, and I thought, hold on a minute. If you've mended a child's heart and they've had a major operation on it,
they should also get that
they should get it, because they need to, even more. They've got a gift that they've been given to have a healthy life. Therefore, you should do the best you can to keep them healthy. So we are doing children's rehabilitation across the country. It's the first time it's being done. There are pockets where people have tried to do it, but we've done £100,000 worth of research into it, whether it's good. And now what we've learned from that, we're actually applying in hospitals across the country. So near you, there will be a child who will get rehabilitation because of Heart Research
Wow,
UK.
well done, well done.
Thank you.
Thumbs up to Heart Research UK. And if you guys want to know more about this organization, details will be on the screen. You can Google them, tweet them, go on Facebook, send them as much questions as you might want to know in order for us to be informed. And I can say you guys are doing great. Just keep up with the good work. And there's questions that our viewers want to really find out.
Yeah.
If we can get into that, those are myths surrounding heart diseases. Someone would say a heart failure means the heart stops beating. Is that what it is?
Nope. No. Heart failure is a condition. Now, I'm not a doctor and not a clinician, but I can tell you that heart failure is a condition of the heart, which means that the heart does not pump as efficiently as it used to.
So it's not necessarily that it just stops and that's just it. Okay, you hear it for yourself. If you haven't yet told a friend, please let them know so that they can tune into the Dig and Dip show. We are digging deep to save lives. And there's all these myths that we've grown up to believe. And here we've got an expert with us. She will be able to put us through a lot of those myths and questions that has been in your heart. And part of it is that heart diseases are genetic. So people would say if your parents didn't have it, then you won't have it either. How far true is that?
Not true as well. It can run in families indeed. And probably if there have been heart problems in your family, you're more prone to it. But that does not mean that you won't get it because of the lifestyle issue, as I said. If you live a lifestyle that is going to put pressure on your heart for whatever reason, you don't keep your arteries nice and clear by eating correctly, exercising, not smoking, they are the sort of things that you can do in your life that may lead to heart disease. Also diabetes, that's a big thing in the Afro-Caribbean community, is that you have a much higher incidence of diabetes. And diabetes, again, has a direct link to heart disease, the same as not the same link, but the same sort of link, that it makes the stuff that goes onto the arteries and sticks to it thicker and stickier. So you need to do the best you can to avoid diabetes as well. But the thing is that there are two sorts of diabetes. One is type 1, which is, that's it, you know, you probably have had it since a child. But type 2 is something that is more prevalent in older people, and it goes back to this waistline thing I said.
Okay.
That there is something to do with waistline and diabetes, and it's a lifestyle issue.
Okay.
And it means that you should take even more notice of what you eat and how much exercise you take.
And you know, like back in the day where I grew up from Zimbabwe, they used to say if you eat too much, if you take in too much sugar, then you will automatically have diabetes. Is it really a case of the sugar you take that will cause you to have this kind of diabetes?
It's not automatic, that's all I can say. It's not an automatic thing.
Yeah.
But everybody should watch how much sugar they put in, because it makes you fatter, makes you bigger, and therefore you're adding. It's obvious, isn't it? You are born sort of without a lot of fat on. If you all of a sudden blow to 20 odd stone, you're mad if you think you're not going to have problems of some, even on your joints, more effect on your heart, all sorts of things. So it is obvious, really, and people do know they're fat. I know people are saying now that so many people are fat that it's normal. Well, it isn't normal. It really is not normal. And if people are happy being fat, well, that's up to them. But therefore, you know, they may have consequences of that. They may not. I'm not saying that you
but
can.
Then,
you definitely
yeah,
are going to have heart disease if you're larger. You're not. You may indeed not have that.
But it's best
it is an influence
to look
upon.
after yourself.
It's a
very
risk
well.
factor, certainly
It
a
is.
risk.
And some say younger women aren't at risk, so they wouldn't really see any reason why they should start taking care of themselves because they're younger, they're in their 20s, so they think they aren't at risk. So where do we stand when it comes to that?
Heart disease affects all ages, but for different reasons at different ages, probably. But young women have to think that one day they're not going to be young women, they are going to be middle-aged women, they're going to be older people. Therefore, what they do when they are young will have a direct effect on how their health is when they're older. So if you now are eating high-fat foods, lots of sugar, lots of
because
salt.
I'm young now,
Yeah.
you know.
No, I mean, you've got beautiful skin.
Yeah.
You've got that because you've got a good diet. And you know, fruit and vegetables, oily fish, porridge is brilliant. It keeps your body healthy. And if you keep your body healthy, you keep your heart healthy. But that's a good tip, actually. Porridge every morning is ideal. Mops up cholesterol, which is the thing.
Wow, I'm going to have that. I'm making sure that tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'll have my bowl of porridge.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you put in it some nuts, some seeds, honey, banana, all sorts of things can make it taste really lovely. But it's brilliant for you.
Barbara, you've mentioned about exercise, and many people, they go to 9-to-5 works, they've got children. How do they find this time to exercise?
Well, do it together. When you can get together, even for 10 minutes, run up and down the stairs. Do something to get the kids laughing, you and your husband laughing, your partner laughing. Also, when you exercise, you feel so much better. So even if you feel, I can't be bothered, you know,
Tired.
get up and do something, because if you get up and do something, you get a new lease of life. And it makes you feel so much better, and it helps your heart. Get your heart pumping and beating more. There are all sorts of things that you can do. You're supposed to do 30 minutes, do 10 minutes, have a dance. Turn the radio on, dance for 10 minutes. The kids will join in then. Your mother might join in. All ages
The whole
can
house,
do it.
yeah.
You even digging in the garden, walking to work or cycling to work instead of getting the bus, pushing the pram. Push it a bit harder and a bit quicker. Just make sure that you get as many bite-sized bits of energy that add up to the 30 minutes in a day into it. Kids as well. Get the children involved as well. They're supposed to do an hour a day, even harder to do, you would think. But they're at times in the playground, they're running around then. Get them dancing, as I say. Get them so that they get used to doing exercise.
Yeah, get the lifestyle of exercise.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the thing is that once they get to sort of 13, 14, 15, it's a bit not cool to do exercise. So you've got to make it so that it is. So you introduce them to things that are a bit different. So take them to see a basketball, because there's a lot of opportunities in basketball at the moment for youngsters. With we give grants a lot to basketball people, and they're going to schools, and all you need is a hoop. You know, you can do that outside. Swimming, absolutely brilliant, and there are subsidised schemes as well for that.
And you know, on that note of exercise, you know, some people, they say exercise is too risky if you have a heart disease.
No, that is a myth. No. That it goes back to children's rehabilitation. You might have a child who's had a really major operation, and we have made sure that they're going to get a prescription for exercise as well. There are very few people with heart problems who can't do some exercise. And if you think, if I go back to what I said, your heart is a muscle that has to be kept going. If you stop, it's not going to do any good for your heart. But you must do it after you've spoken to your doctor, and he will tell you the levels that you can go to and the things to look out for. You know, if you get too breathless, that's obvious, you stop. But he will tell you, or she will tell you.
And if we can move on to the cholesterol getting checked, you know, many people, they would say that they don't need to have their cholesterol checked until they are middle-aged. Is it really necessary to get that cholesterol checked?
You must know your numbers, and knowing numbers is knowing your cholesterol levels. And when you go, can I just say, everybody, don't just get one figure, ask for the ratio, and that is the ratio of good and bad cholesterol because that matters, and ask them to explain it to you. You should know your blood pressure numbers as well. But cholesterol is the major risk factor in heart disease. So you keep your cholesterol low, and that's done in all sorts of ways. Now, you've heard of a low cholesterol diet. It isn't. It should be a cholesterol lowering diet, because cholesterol is made in your liver.
Okay.
And if your body is making too much cholesterol, there are foods that you can have that can help it
To
go
lower
down.
it down.
Statins is not the answer. It is one of the answers that can be used in, but it is alongside a cholesterol lowering diet is even better. So that would be good fruit and vegetables, low fat, low salt, lots of oily fish, porridge, nuts, almonds, walnuts and hazelnuts, just a handful, brilliant. And only 2 bits of very, very black dark chocolate. That's good for you. But no bars, just 2 bits.
No, not a lot. Just
No.
2, she said, not a lot.
No, a glass of red wine. That's quite good, but a glass.
Not all of it. You've heard it for yourself. And can you please quickly tell our viewers what a heart bypass is?
A heart bypass is where the blood supply to your heart has been impaired, so not enough blood gets to your heart. So what they have to do is bypass the blockage in a coronary artery, and a coronary artery is the blood supply to your heart. So they bypass the blockage, reinstate the blood supply so that your muscle, your heart, gets enough blood supply for it to work better than it did before.
When people say that women are more likely to die of breast cancer than they are to die of heart diseases, is that true?
No, that's not true. Heart disease as a whole kills more people, and also women are more likely to die from cardiovascular disease than they ever will from breast cancer. I mean, breast cancer has come on so much in the prevention, treatment and cure of that, but it's still heart disease that is the killer of women.
Wow, this is the biggest killer we've all headed for ourselves. If there is somebody out there, they've been diagnosed with heart disease, is there any hope for such people?
Oh, never give up, never. Even so, there are very few things that cannot have something done. So if you have any symptoms of breathlessness, pain in the chest, just not feeling too well, listless, especially pain in the chest, please just go and see and get your heart checked out. And the sooner you go, the better it is. And there's all sorts of things that can be done for all sorts of conditions of the heart. So please don't think if you have a heart condition that you're popping off, because you're not. A lot can be done. But live a better heart lifestyle.
Wow, thank you for those wise words of wisdom. And I'm just so sorry to say this is what we had time for today. The Heart Research UK is available. If you've got any questions, please, like I said, do give them a call. They'll be able to help you out. Thank you so much, Barbara, for being with us on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the informative
you.
words. And I hope our viewers will take this to heart, change their lifestyles, make sure we start exercising, build a better life for ourselves and our children. Thank you so much. And to all our viewers and to our sponsors, Awards for All, a big thank you for sponsoring this program.